Hello, I'm Ashley. This is my first video. I am going to be talking about my disease, which is Weirding-Hoffman disease type 2. But this first video, I'm going to be talking about my sister that had this disease, but she had type 2, which is the worst disease. And in other videos, I will be talking about certain stuff about my life growing up that I can't talk about getting married, having a kid, all that stuff. But this first video is going to be about my sister, Latasha. I had Weirding-Hoffman type 2. And this video is called A Day in the Life with Ashley, because truthfully I didn't know what to call it. My sister, she had type 1, and usually kids that are born with this disease end up having the same type. But my sister had type 1. She died at 22 months. Then my mom, Michelle, after she passed away, she was going through grief. And then she had my brother, William. And then I was born, and with my sister Latasha, when my mom was pregnant for her, she couldn't feel her kick, move, nothing like that. And then when she got pregnant with me, she could feel like little kicks. And then when I was born, I was able to do certain things that my sister Latasha couldn't do at all. Like I was able to crawl, I was able to do a lot of stuff. And they told my mom, she took me to Children's Pittsburgh Hospital. It was an old hospital, but they became a new hospital. They told my mom that I was going to die at the age of 5. So my mom didn't send me to school until I was like 5. I have it in my notes. If I am correct, then I will let you know in the next video. But I'm pretty sure my mom said I was 5 until I went to kindergarten. And my mom told me to believe in God, so I did. Even though I don't go to church, I went to church when I was a kid, I did, but I don't go now. And yes, I'm scared. I do have, scoliosis, really, really bad scoliosis, and my bone is sticking out because of how my scoliosis is. Not a doctor, and the doctor that I do see about my disease, she couldn't even tell me the longest person is with this disease, because where I live, not a lot of doctors know about my disease at all. Like, I have heard them about everything. when I was a kid, they didn't think I was going to be able to have kids at all. But I proved them wrong. My family didn't think I was going to get married, but I did. There's a lot of stuff. Let me see what else. There's not that much to go on about my sister Natasha. My brothers, they do walk. Do I get jealous that they can walk? I did when I was a kid, but then I got over it because growing up, I did have friends. I did a lot of stuff I wasn't supposed to do when I was a kid because my mom didn't treat me like how people wanted her to treat me. My mom didn't treat me like that. She treated me like a regular kid. And she didn't treat me any different than my brothers. I did get spoiled a lot. Still to this day I get spoiled. And this is my daughter. Come in the video. More closer. Her name is Miracle. And her name, there's a reason it's called Miracle. She is 11. And she is my only daughter. I did ask her if she wanted to be in the video. There might be times she won't be in the videos. Unless she wants to be. I did tell her if she doesn't want to be in the video, she doesn't have to be. I get by with just my income, even though it is hard. And she is spoiled, not gonna lie. Trying to think of what else to say. Growing up, I was always sick, always in the hospital because of respiratory issues. Just growing up, I was getting sick real easy. There was plenty of times I did come almost to passing away, but I beat it, proved them wrong, the hospital. And let me see. Pause that, Richard. Click the red button. I did when my mom and us lived in a different state from where we live now. I did go to school. They didn't have an elevator. I was there until for a few years, and then we ended up moving to a different state, which wasn't that far from where we lived. And when I went to the new school, elementary school, they had to figure out what grade to actually put me in because the elementary school, they didn't do a very good job at keeping any records, so the school had a really hard time of what grade I should be in. And then, which they really good in school, even in middle school and high school. I did graduate high school. And I did some college. And then me and my husband, when we first got together, we was together for 3 years before he proposed. And once he did, he proposed on Valentine's Day. He wrote in rose petals, "Will you marry me?" on the bed. It was really cute. I wish at the time
everybody does that.
I had a camera to take a picture of that because that was really sweet. So I was surprised when he did it on Valentine's Day. And then we ended up getting married in 2012. Let me see. And then 6 months later, I ended up getting pregnant with my daughter. At first, because I had, I missed my menstrual. And then we went out to eat, and I wanted fish. And I didn't like fish at the time. I didn't like fish at all, or seafood. And then that same night, I was craving a pizza Lunchable with strawberries on top.
Okay.
And then that night, I took a pregnancy test at night, even though I know you're supposed to do it in the morning, but I took mine at night, and it came out positive. I went to the doctor. They said, yeah, you're definitely pregnant. And then, at first, the hospital I went to, which was in Pittsburgh, they wanted me to get an abortion. They kept telling me to get an abortion, asking me to several times, which I didn't like. The rest of the doctors I loved. They treated me really good. At first, when I went, because I had to go up to Pittsburgh so many times because of how risky the pregnancy was. And before I got pregnant, my husband was able to work. He does have club feet, but at the time he was able to work.
You should tell how you got my name.
I am. And, well, when I found out I couldn't be home alone, and I had no one else to stay home with me, my husband had to quit working just to stay home with me. I did not get help from anybody at first. I got everything that she needed. Before Kmart closed, I put a lot of stuff on my way. I got stuff off of Facebook Marketplace. I got everything she needed. Now, when I was like 5 months pregnant with her, because when I first found out I was having a girl, I was like are you sure? I kept asking the doctor. I'm like, you sure it's a girl? And he was like, yes. I asked like 4 times because I was shocked.
Did you want a girl or a boy?
I did want a girl. I did. And when I was lying on the couch, she wasn't kicking or moving. I put my hand on my belly. I was like, I'm going to give you 2 names. Guys, the first name, I said Heavenly. I'm not going to give you the rest of the name. And she didn't kick, move, nothing. And then I said, Miracle. She kicked. So she picked her name. And then we did the ring on the string, and it was a girl. Because that ring on the string, that works. And then the hospital, they said they was able to give me an epidural, but if it was going to have to be, if something happened, they wanted us to choose between my life or my daughter's. I wanted him to choose my daughter, no matter what. Because at the end, even if I didn't survive, I knew my husband had support to take care of my daughter. My family would have been there for him, like my mom, my cousin, people would have been there for my husband. But I did survive the pregnancy. So all that went good. She was born almost 3 months early. She was in the NICU for, how long was it, Richard? Richard.
Dad.
Rich. I think 2 months. How long was she in the NICU? Yeah, 2 months. She got out. What month did she get out?
January, February.
Was it January, February? It was after Christmas? January, February, she got out of the NICU, and we was able to take her home. And I will take pictures of my back and my stomach where my bone is sticking out to show you how bad my scoliosis is. I hope, because I knew there was some videos where there is people that does talk about this stuff, that someone can get a hold of me, because growing up, I had no one with this disability that I was able to talk to. Because growing up with this type of disability, it's hard. I'm not gonna lie. This is my cat. You might see her in a lot of videos. Her name is Dixie, and she loves me. She's my support cat. So my doctor did try to see if some of her patients would talk to me, but they wouldn't talk to me, which it would have helped me. But growing up, I did figure it out. How I figured it out, I don't know. I think just having friends and stuff like that, it did help. And my mom just letting me be a kid, didn't treat me different. That helped also. like I said, I hope someone watches this and a doctor that could even let me know what the longest surviving person with this disease. I am 35 years old. 35. And I'm still here. I figured I would make this YouTube channel because people wonder, like, how do you do it? You finished school, did some college. I wish I would have finished college, but I didn't. I did get married, did have a kid. When me and my husband got together, he did not know how to cook whatsoever. I taught him how to cook because at that time I had the electric wheelchair that was able to raise up, and I was able to cook on the stove. I was able to do a lot of the stuff at the time. But unfortunately, where I live, my medical card does not let me get that same kind of wheelchair. I wish they would, because I loved how I was able to raise it up and be able to cook on the stove. But as I get older, my disease is just going to get worse. I don't know how much worse. We don't even know when. But as of right now, my muscles isn't as strong like they used to be. I think it's because for 3 or 4 years, I wasn't in my electric wheelchair like I used to be. Growing up, I was always in it, even though I was always in pain in it. Again, my name is Ashley. This is A Day in the Life with Ashley. I am nervous. So, thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.